Okay, so I've got things set up here. Now, just to very quickly demonstrate, having the same settings that I had through the day, even with the light on. This is 10th of a second, f9 and 200 ISO. You can see it is ridiculously underexposed. Okay, it's absolutely no use whatsoever. So we are going to increase the ISO just a little, just to 400. Okay, I'm not going to push that too much. However, going to bring the F down to 7.1, and in fact, actually, I'm going to keep the ISO down. Let's keep it at 200. Okay, I'm going to adjust my time. So this is now a full second, okay, which again is coming just slightly on the underexposed side, which is fine for me. I'll take a shot. Okay, now as you can tell with the normal bulb on, it's a pretty uninteresting image. It's very flat. There's not really any interest to it at all. However, it means that I've got it framed up and I'm okay with the way it is. Okay, so time to switch off the lights and give this a go with the additional lighting. Ooh, it's dark. Okay, so I'm sure you're not seeing this particularly well, but I've got my first shot set up. I've got my little video light here at about a 45-degree angle to the plants, camera right, and you might be able to see some of the shadows coming across. So I'm going to take my first shot and just see how it comes through. I've got my focus before the lights went off and switched off the autofocus so it doesn't try and find it each time. Okay, and that's come through just fine. Now that's probably a bit too bright than what I'm going for, and it might just be me, but it doesn't look like it's really focused very well. So I'm going to try that one again. So that was 8 seconds. So I'm going to bring that down just a bit to 6. Okay, now that's looking a good bit better. What I'm not particularly liking is how bright everything else is, the backdrop and the base. I'm going to move the light around a little here. I'm going to bring it almost to 90 degrees, not quite. I'm going to give that another little blast here. Okay, now it's looking a little bit more interesting. It's giving me the light and shadow line almost right down the middle. It's a little bit different, kind of works. I don't think I'm overly fussed with it, to be honest, but I think I'm going to bring that shutter down just a little bit more again. Let's try 4. Okay, that's looking well underexposed. That's absolutely fine. There we go, that's looking a bit better. So the backdrop is looking much darker, the base is looking much darker, subjects are still well lit and still getting the same kind of effect out of it. So overall, it's focused much more on the subject now. Okay, that's fine. So happy with that. Okay, so with the overall image looking a fair bit better now in terms of the back and the base and how the subject's showing through, much happy with how that's going. Now I'm just going to play about with the light itself a little bit. Okay, so just changing the position has made quite a difference on how the subject is looking. I would prefer to have something a bit more flexible in terms of the lighting, something just to kind of move around any and all directions. And you can use that with a flash, and particularly if it's connected and so on. However, the bonus of this being so portable is, and also having a remote trigger or being on timer, is I can literally just hold this. I can take my shot and just hold it wherever I want it to be and get the shadows where I want them as well. Okay, so let's give that a little try. What I'm going to do is, rather than holding it directly down, I'm going to slightly tilt it up the way, so you can see here even on the base, that's highlighting the bottom quite a bit. So tilt it up a little, it's coming more onto the subject and less on the base itself. Let's try a little bit more this way. So what I'm going to do is, rather than having it quite so far back, I'm going to bring it a little bit more above with the same kind of feather, and just so the light is hitting it a bit differently. There is some shadows there, so I can see the base clearer, but obviously there's shadows, which is working well, and the light on the plants and on the leaves themselves is looking much better, so I definitely prefer that. Okay, what I'm going to do is intentionally go for a quicker shot here. So I'm coming back down to the 4 seconds, and I'm going to hold directly above. I'm going to hold it quite high up, so I'm probably a good 1.5 meters, basically as far as I can reach, above the table just now. Is that working? You see, I like that. That's leaving the plant pots very, very shaded. I'm going to come to the back, try a little bit of feathering, and I'm going to shoot essentially from behind and above. So rather than being directly above like I was, I'm now going to be more of a this kind of angle. Because I mean, if you look at that, that looks pretty decent in the little video anyway. So if I can recreate something similar to that, even if the front is quite shaded, I think it'll work well for this. Right, there, I'm much happier with that. As far as I'm concerned, that looks pretty good. Okay, so a good bit of trial and error, just testing out different lighting positions, different lighting techniques. So in the last shot there that I'm quite happy with, essentially what I have done is held that as high as I can and slightly feathered that light, so rather than being directly pointed at it, I've just slightly twisted it away. And I've just left that there for a 2.5 second shot. So essentially I'll just show you here. So I've basically held the light here. There's our plants are down here. Okay, I've held it quite high and slightly off to an angle. So it's not directly beaming the light onto the plants. It's just slightly illuminating them. And that has then resulted in the image there that I'm quite happy with. I'll also be taking that into the editing side of things and seeing what we come up with. Before I do that, this has also been very focused on just these 2 plants. I want to bring in my 3rd plant from earlier because I think now I've got a bit more control over the light, I can make this look a little bit more interesting. Okay, let's give that a shot. Really shorten this timer down. Let's try it 1 second. Bring this in quite close. I'm liking how the red branches, the red leaves, stick up from behind. Let's try straight above. It's going to be a very interesting look. You basically can't really see the plant pots at all. Yeah, definitely like that. Okay, let's call that one a shot, I think. Okay, that's probably enough of the plants, but again, you've got the idea. The extra flexibility and creativity that you're going to have with your own lighting. There's so much more you can do with it. You can change the angle, you can change the strength and the size of the shadows, and the direction of the shadows. You can move the light around. You can literally move the light as you're taking the shot, just to try and give the right amount of light to the right sides. Okay, so you can have fairly intent at one side, quickly swing that light around and give just a little bit on the other side. You can do so much more. I'm quite enjoying doing this now. I'm really getting into this. So I'm going to do a couple of other subjects. Okay, ones that I've had a little look around my house. I've found some objects and some items that I think will be fun to put together. And this is really just for me. Okay, so again, I'll keep this in the kind of full creativity side in the trial and error video, but I won't include it every single thing that I'm going to do in this tutorial side of things, okay, because it'll just be a bit excessive. I will, however, show you the outputs. After that, very quickly, we'll switch on over to the editing and we'll see what we need to do with these shots, just enhance them just that little bit more. Okay, here we go.